Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. I'm Adam Ross. Joining me is Clinton Jeffrey. On the line already, we have Mike Mallet. I'd
We
say
do?
frequent flyer miles, but Mike drives everywhere. But he does turn a lot of miles. Mike just back from Eastern States weekend at Middletown, having a little bit of trouble. When you think you need to rotate the camera right, Mike, you actually need to rotate left.
I'm laughing because I was thinking, how many times is he going to realize that it's reversed
It's the
on camera?
opposite. I know, and it's driving me nuts.
You know what, Mike? Since you're New York, we'll call it Canadian. All right, it was the
Okay,
Canadian
thanks.
style of adjusting the microphone.
Yeah, he
So
didn't.
Appreciate.
You have to set your system to metric. Hey,
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
before we get into tonight's show, last time Mike was on, we talked about so you're in your man cave right now, Mike. How many sprint
Yes.
car wings do you have in your midst?
Too many. How's that? Just in my basement alone. I'm looking at them right now. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. About 20 to 25 here in the basement, and then a few more out in the garage that I haven't had a chance to do much with.
Adam, when we see those young kids dragging out their broken parts, and you're looking at their poor parents, what are they going to do with that crap? Well, there's Mike, the little kid who drags home the beat up parts and puts them on his wall.
I wish I got to drag these home and not pay some of the prices that I paid for them, but
Okay,
it's all
that brings
part of
up a
it.
new topic. What have you paid, Mike, and what is your most prized possession? If I had to guess, I would think it's something to Hodnet because you're a big Greg Hodnet fan.
Yeah,
If I'm on the
yeah,
right path. So, what did you
yeah,
pay the
oh
most
yeah.
for, and what is the most valuable to you?
The most I paid was 1,500, and now I'm in the center, or not center, but the most I paid was 1,500, and that was for a recent wing that Greg ran the last year that he raced sprint cars. And then my favorite one is I have an Uncle Jack wing that's up over my shoulder. You can't see, you can see the yellow in the background there, but it's a wing that Greg ran with Jim and Sandy Klein. Only a few times it was for a sick relative that they have there trying to raise awareness and told them to get well soon, etc. So I got that wing. That's probably my favorite. And that was one of my first ones I got, and that one not many people have because I only ran a couple of those different wings. So that one's pretty special to have that one. Um, but it's pretty special to have all the Greg Hodnett stuff. As you mentioned, I was a pretty huge Greg Hodnett fan. Still am, obviously, even though he's gone. But once you have a favorite driver, it doesn't go away. It's just unfortunate what happened, but um, it's good to go. And the money you spent, I didn't really worry about it when I bought them. You look at it like the last one I bought went to the Greg Hodnett Foundation, so it's a donation, to the family, etc. So it's totally worth it, and you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes you pay the money per se, but it's going to a good
So,
cause, and that's fine with me.
how did the Sprint Car Museum get in touch with you? Because I understand you've got some pieces that are actually going to go out on loan. And
Yeah,
are they going to Knoxville, Mike?
yeah, that's the plan. I emailed Bill Wright. Like we got an email. There we go. Let me get centered here. We got an email from them about them doing a Greg Hodnett exhibit, and I had told some friends out there if they need anything. So I ended up I know Bill from covering the Knoxville National, so I sent an email back to him and said, hey, if you're interested in anything, I have a ton of this stuff. I have wing panels off of every car that Greg has run in Pennsylvania, except for the Al Hamilton 77. Everything else I have, pretty much you see them behind me, the one above my head, the one over my left shoulder here, all that. The only non-Greg piece behind me right now is the Stuart Friesen door. But so I offered it up, and he said, fantastic. We're going to have a lot of these cars, etc. So we're going to get in touch, talk in December, and see what they need and what they want, and we're going to get it out to them somehow. If I got to drive it out there, I'll do what I have to do to help them out.
That's pretty
Very
cool.
cool,
We
Mike.
we didn't get to talk about it last time, and I wanted to because I sit in my kitchen to do the show. Clinton, I don't know where he sits, but obviously you're in a racing room because Mike, you don't have a family that lives in your house like Clinton and I.
No, and I'm actually in a basement. That's where I'm at. This is the man cave, if you will. I guess the whole house is the man cave when you don't have a family or a wife and kids and anything. I can do whatever I want. So if I wanted to hang it
Your
in the living room, I could.
your house is awesome.
Well, Mike, we have a few things we want to talk about with regards to Eastern States, and that's why we brought you in. As we talked about in the past, it's a place you're quite comfortable with, a place that's dear to your heart. And we know we'll get the real deal. Matt Williamson is scheduled to join us, and we're also going to be talking about the Batmobile demonstration. So I want to kind of shy away from those two topics if we can in the beginning, because we hope to get back to them. Let's talk other than those two things. Eastern States, what was the big story? Stu coming from the back after flying back from the trucks?
Yeah, I think the big story was there was no controversy for a first time in how long? Normally we see somebody get disqualified, we see a fight, we see, some kind of crazy thing happens at the end of the Eastern States 200. We were joking on Friday night, we were sitting in Sportsman Tech, and I waited till Sportsman Tech was over because, like, somebody's getting DQ'd. Every year, the winner of this race, I think the last 3 years, the winner has gotten DQ'd of the Sportsman race, and Kevin Root actually won the Sportsman race because they tore that car apart, went through it, everything worked out. Saturday, Matt Williamson won, no issues. They teched, everything good to go. And then Sunday, Stuart Friesen coming from 44th to get the win. Incredible run, and it was one of the most memorable Eastern States races I've seen, because what was awesome is he did it on the racetrack. He didn't do it with pit stop strategy. He didn't do it with fuel mileage. He didn't do it with tire changing. None of that. He did it literally going balls out up on the wall as hard as you can go for 200 laps, and he passed race cars and came up through the field and got it done. I mean, he took the lead on lap 61. Yeah, some guys made some pit stops, but he drove his way to the front from 44th. I think by the time the first caution came out, he was in the 20s. By the time the next caution came out, it was up to 16th, and he just kept moving forward every time. As soon as the race went back to green, he was able to move and pass cars. So it was an impressive run, exciting run. Something we normally don't see at Eastern States, because this is the first one on the new surface. So the old surface, you would have never seen a car running the line that Stewie ran up by the wall. Now you got 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 4 lanes of racing. I mean, at one point we saw a 4 wide pass for the lead. I mean, when have you ever seen that at Middletown? And I can tell you, never.
How revitalized is dirt racing, especially down that part of the state, with Fonda being taken over by Brett Deo, who seems to have done great things. You've still got Lebanon Valley promoted by Howie, Albany, Saratoga, now down to Middletown with a fresh surface. Do you see things taking an upswing, Mike, and for the better?
Yeah, I think it's great to have people that are passionate about what they're doing. Fonda made a revival again because Brett is a fantastic promoter. Not that the former promoters there were bad people or anything like that. They just weren't the promoter that Brett is. Brett relies on promoting to make his living, so he's got to know what he's doing. He's got to be good at it. All right, and he did that at Fonda Speedway. Tried some different stuff, and really bought the place back. Chris Larson down at Middletown. Hopefully they can turn the crowd side of things around. I don't think this weekend was the best crowd I've seen at Eastern States, but I also think the weather kind of screwed them a little bit, with everybody knowing that Sunday was going to be a crappy day. So, like you knew, looking in the forecast on Friday, that Sunday is going to either be washed out or a long day. And that's why people come. They want to see the Eastern States 200. But I commend Chris for everything he's done there. I mean, they've all new catch fence, sound systems, racing surface, working on the infield. I mean, they've done a whole bunch of stuff, and there's a whole much more stuff planned for Middletown. And I love seeing Middletown come back. Other than Fonda, I probably spent the most time at Middletown growing up, and it's one of the first racetracks that I announced at. So it's a place that's kind of close to me. I still have a ton of friends down there. I still feel like when I go there, I'm going home. You can walk through the pits, you can stop at every trailer and talk to multiple guys, because you just know everybody. I spent that long there. So it's great to see those two places kind of get a rebirth, so to speak, and again, I just hope Middletown can figure out some stuff on the fan side, and get a little bit better support there. And if they can do that, I think they're definitely going in the right direction.
Mike, let's talk about the other racing going on. Sportsman race, always a good show down there. And the sportsman car counts, especially in the region Adam just mentioned, they've been taking off. It's been amazing to see the car counts in the sportsman division, which I know in our neck of the woods with the crate sprints in the 360 world, 360s were down to 14 cars last weekend a few years ago, and we were actually real worried. We're down to 2 heats. Crates took off. We've got about 5 of those guys moved up at midpoint of the season this year. 6 of our top 10 in the 360 points at last weekend were directly former crate racers. So we do see the move up. I think you're going to see that in sportsmen, especially when the car counts are as robust as they are. You don't want to have to fight that many guys. And if you've got any kind of budget that's close to being able to make that jump, you tend to make that jump. So let's talk about sportsman car counts and how good they've been going. And then I want to come back and talk about that, even with the engine rules the way they are, things are starting to get a bit out of hand there, and we want to touch on that in the coming weeks. But let's talk just about overall quickly, because we got Matt ready to go, I think. Sportsman car counts in general have been amazing, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Super Dirt Week. I think you go to there, and it was 103 cars or whatever it was, just an insane amount. And you look in my area on a weekly basis. Brewerton oftentimes is running 2 features because they're getting upwards of 40 plus cars. Fulton's getting 60 plus cars. You got Canandaigua or Land of Legends running as well, getting 40 plus cars or 30 plus every week. Utica Rome on Sundays, we were getting 30 plus cars. Orange County capped their number at 75, so they actually told some guys they couldn't come because they had, no room to put them in the pit area. I think it's great to see what's happening with the sportsman division in the crates. The race on Friday night, Kevin Root made it a little bit of a stinker because he's that good on the slick, and those guys down there aren't necessarily used to the slick track yet. I talked to Grant Hilfinger, who finished second, and he's like, "We need more time on this racetrack to figure this out. These guys from upstate come down here and they kick our butts." So, no, I think it's fantastic to see what car counts are doing with the sportsmen again, and we've seen it kind of start to trickle up now. My home track, Utica Rome, on Sunday nights, we run 358 modifieds, and we've definitely seen an uptick of those guys moving up, saying, I'm tired of running against 60 cars, and some guys not necessarily have the experience level yet. So you're racing against guys that don't have that level of ability to control the race car per se. I'll put it that way. So you see some guys move up and say, you know what, I'm going to get out of this. It's a little crazy here. Let's go run the 358. Run with guys that are experienced guys, that are good guys, that know what they're doing. And I think you can see immediate success. I mean, look at Dave Marcichelli this season. He had a couple wins and won a 358 series race. In his first year moving up. So I mean, that shows you that you can make that jump from sportsman to 358, and that's exactly what we need to happen here. As we'll see car counts increase. You got a ton of sportsmen, so hopefully that'll trickle up here again each and every year into our 358 division.
Well, and plus, when you jump into a 358, you're going to qualify. It's easier to qualify because quite often they don't need a consi. Let's bring in a driver who started in the sportsman ranks, moved up to 358. Now he's a threat to win anytime there's big money on the line because he pocketed quite a bit this season. And Spencer tells me, Clinton, we've got a read to do before we welcome Matt Williamson.
Yeah, it's our newest segment, our latest winner. And it's brought to you by Six Nations Bingo. Guaranteed prizes, guaranteed fun, and more ways to win yourself. Whether you're looking for new experience or you're a bingo fanatic, Six Nations Bingo has been the preferred choice from players for over 20 years. It's easily accessible just off of Highway 54 between Brantford and Caledonia. They offer the largest and friendliest bingo hall in the region. Join them for their many big events and holiday specials. And check out Monster Bingo, Super Sundays, Must-Go Jackpots, and 24 Bingo, plus their monthly birthday special. Six Nations Bingo, 2585 Chiefswood Road, but a mile north of Ohsweken Speedway, and that's your Six Nations Bingo shot at winning. And here's our most recent winner of Eastern States small block race, Matt Williamson, joining the broadcast with us. We'll go 4 wide here. And Matt, welcome. Thanks for being with us. You're maybe our first repeat guest on the mobile cam. I know you wanted to go to bed, but you said, do I have to stay in the garage? So we appreciate you staying up a few more minutes and chatting with us. You must be tired lugging all that money back to Canada, Matt.
No, it's all good. Yeah, we're just hanging out in the garage. It was a long weekend. Mallet knows you go down there and you wear your body out at the 31st lap. And
I've never heard of the place.
I think we got home at 6 a.m. on Sunday or Monday morning, and then last night, your sleep schedule was all screwed up. So tonight's going to be an early one, but we'll get back to it.
So, Matt, I want to ask you a really dumb question because I'm good at these. We were talking about starting in sportsman, moving up to modifieds. You've been pretty good all the way along, but your progression hasn't been that much different than Stuart Freeze and Matt Shepard. What is the difference between the Matt Williamson modified racer of the last 4 or 5 years and the Matt Williamson in 2019 that wins everything?
I wouldn't say, everything. We've been fortunate to win the races we have this year. And I say this every time we win, that I've got some very smart people behind me. And I've always been fortunate to have help in the garage and, great guys behind my own car. But it just seems like this year we've taken it to the next level, and we've put my own guys, together with some other smart people. And it just makes my job really easy driving the car.
Matt, let's talk about the super team that's come together, because you've got all these different personalities that have to gel together. And a lot of times, they may be jealous that the driver's over with this team or over with that team. It looks like your group of guys have kind of embraced this meshed together team and seem to put the best foot forward for you, whether it's, your guys from the Friday night Ransomville team or your Saturday night home crew or, the Barents team or the Buzz Chew. It seems like you've got a lot of the same guys around you and they're all pushing you toward these big wins. Talk about gelling everyone together.
It's really simple. As long as you're winning, everybody's happy. We haven't really struggled as a big group yet. Sunday was probably the first time we've really been totally disappointed with our finish. But other than that, we've been pretty fortunate to run good. And Jeff, Buzz, and Coco, and my own team, we all make sure that the car is 100%, and then it's on my shoulders when we get on the racetrack to do my best.
So, Mike Mallett, I got a question for you. Are you tired of interviewing Matt Williamson yet?
I think every time I interview him, I joke with him, I'm getting tired of this. But I got another one up my sleeve, I'm sure, in Charlotte, so I can't be tired of it just yet.
I hope you're right.
What did you offer him? What did you offer him to drink Saturday night? That's what's important.
Saturday night. Well, look, now I've learned something here, Matty. I got to pick on you a little bit because Stuart Friesen wins the 200. What was he drinking? All right, he was drinking White Claw. All right,
I seen it. I seen it.
So I'm just saying, you're giving me a little grief for offering a White Claw at Super Dirt Week, but Stewie, 40 grand, he was drinking a White Claw.
Maybe I'll have to try one before we head down to Charlotte.
I'm betting Bud Lights were all around after the 100K, so that's what Maddie and his
yes,
boys
there was
need to
plenty
drink.
of Bud Light running there.
That's right.
Matt, let's talk about your dad in this whole deal. We've been talking a lot about you, but your dad was the story in the modified world up until the last couple of years. Your dad, Randy, is one of the veterans of the setup world, probably the most accessible guy. And what a lot of people will say is a lot to do with the success of BRP is the customer service end of things. Talk about how tough it is for you guys when you find something to keep it from your dad, because your dad is an open book and he's told you guys many times, don't tell me what you're doing because I will give it to our customers. So how tough is it to you to kind of keep dad on the sly and keep him in the mix and, pick his brain, but not give him away the secrets that everybody else is going to get?
It's tough, and I've dealt with it, since I started racing, that if we find something and, the success is short-lived and, the customers all have it by the following week. But that's business. Without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And without his knowledge, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So it's not so much, me withholding information from him anymore, because it don't take him long to figure stuff out anyway. So it's more tough for Spot and Coco and Jeff and the guys that still pay for all their parts and buy their cars, and they want to go out and win, and they have other businesses to be successful with. So it's tough on them guys sometimes, but they understand the whole side of it, and it works well.
Oh, it's
Adam,
a four-way stare down. Listen, Clint, you bust my balls every week. Every week, Adam. Why you always got to jump on me like that? So I decided this week I'm just going to lay back, and you stepped on your dink, Clinton Jeffrey. So you remember that. Next time, the next 10 times I jump on you, and I scoop your questions, eat it.
Just remember, it's big enough to step on it.
Good Lord.
Who am I kidding? Announcers do with their mouths. Maddie, we don't want to keep you too much longer. Best of luck going into this big race. Is it crazy for you to think you'd be battling Matt Shepard for the championship coming into the final race of the year?
No, I'm very blessed to be in this position that I'm in. I'm super excited to head down to Charlotte with a chance to win it. At the beginning of the year, everybody wouldn't have put us in this position. There would have been, 10 would have said we'd be lucky to be in the top 5. So we're already ahead of it, and however Charlotte works out, it works out. We'll go down there and have some fun, and hopefully come out with a W.
How does that place suit your style, Matt?
It's good. I mean, we went there a couple years ago and won. It was the time we've won a series race away from home. So it's short races, 40 laps, get it on racing. And, the atmosphere is so cool down there that it really makes you want to win. And, we're putting our best foot forward in the shop here, and Spot's busy working, long days to make sure that we're well prepared to go down there.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Good luck. We'll be following up with you, and win, lose, or draw, we're going to have you back on the show. And make sure you're ready to go. Sharpen your skates. We drop the puck next Monday night with the boys here in St. Catharines. So look forward to seeing you, buddy. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Sounds good,
Travel
guys.
safe.
Thanks for having me on.
Congrats. Well, guys, hold on. I'm going to hold the ship down. Want to welcome our newest action sports supporter, JibsActionSports.com. Jibs has been killing it since 2010. They're Canada's source for best scooters, BMX bikes, and skateboards. They also have an amazing selection of scooter parts, BMX parts, apparel, and accessories. You can shop online at JibsActionSports.com or visit their store in Burlington, Ontario for the best. Browse the best trick scooters at Jibs, Canada's favorite scooter shop, JibsActionSports.com for all your action sports needs. And that brings us to our next guest, Mr. Trevor Young, crate sprint car driver. Trevor is coming to us today for a unique topic, and we're going to jump a bit ahead. Trevor's with us. He's a school teacher like you, Mike, so we're going to try and go 4 wide with Trevor if Spencer can pull that off. Now, Mike, say it again, Spencer. We need 30 seconds, so I'll keep teeing it up. So what happens here, Mike, is Trevor Young is a crate sprint car driver who came to me and us and said, hey, we want to start building a mini stock at our high school with the transportation technology, the auto shop class. Would you guys get involved? So we rounded up some sponsors. Oshweekend Speedways got involved, and it's come together really awesome here already. So they went out and bought a Sunfire, 2003 Sunfire. They've gutted it. It's now been on its way over to Concept One Fabrication to get the roll cage put in. And Trevor's going to come on and talk quickly about what it means to have the kids involved. Now, Mike, how cool is that a high school is building a race car?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I got to tell you, that's an awesome project. I wish they had that when I was in high school, because that would have been something I could have got into. Yeah, you're right. I've never left high school. Let's be fair.
Trevor Young, welcome to the Rivalz Race Chat broadcast. Thank you so much for being with us. And we're talking about this mini stock project. It's really got quite a buzz going on. We're going to talk about it more. We're going to follow the progress and bring in some videos and pictures. But how cool has it been? I know you and I talk about this a little bit, to see it come together so fast and have the students dive into this thing wholeheartedly, strip the car, and have it ready within like 2 weeks for welding.
Oh, it's been an amazing project so far, Clint. The day I dropped the car off at the school, they were already at it, and they had a ton of stuff out of it. They had the windshield out, interior out day one. I think I messaged you day two and said, we're going to need this cage a lot quicker than we originally planned.
So safe to say the students have gotten behind the project.
Oh, they love it. Every single one of them working on it. A lot of times in the auto shop, you'll see kids standing around. Here, they're always at the car looking for something to do on it.
So, Trevor, when you came up with this idea, at any point did someone in the process say, Mr. Young, I don't think we can do this. I don't think we should be embarking on, because there's always someone who's willing to say no or shoot something down. But just the fact that everything has happened the way it has there been anyone that tried to throw any heat your way?
Not really. The principal did have to run it up the chain at the school board, so that took us a couple days, and they were fine with it. I was really worried at that point because Clint and I were ready to go, and the principal said, give me a couple days, but it turned out great.
Because this is the sort of project that, like, I'm confident now, just knowing how much has been done, that you're going to get to the end of this, and I hope you're the one that gets to stand in front of this car and take the credit, and not anyone else in the school system, because what you've done is really, really cool, because any young people we can get involved in this sport is awesome.
Oh, that's the thing. I grew up around racing. going to the track as a kid and then as a young adult, and then finally got my own car. But these kids have no clue. I've had my car in the past, the Mustang and the sprint car, and they're like, is that a dune buggy? Is that a derby car? What is that? So now they can see what the car actually is, and they're going to build one from scratch.
Well, Trevor, thanks so much for joining us. We just want to touch on the project today. We're going to bring in some videos, some more pictures, and really keep this project going. But I think it's super cool. It is being built for somebody. That's another question we get a lot is who's going to drive it. We're not ready to reveal who's going to be driving this car yet. But we're super excited about this project. I know when it comes out, it's going to be amazing. And stick around because I think the big reveal is going to come up at the Weekend banquet if all goes well.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Trevor.
Trevor, good to talk to you.
We'll definitely be in touch, and I hope to have you back as a regular visitor. That's Trevor Young, crate sprint car driver from March Weekend. Mike, what are your thoughts about that? So Trevor came to me, and I don't want to talk too much about the driver because that's kind of where I got started, but he said, I want to build this mini stock. Do you think we could get some sponsors? And I said, man, I've been talking about the same project. So it all came together, and now we're going to give free passes to all those auto tech students to the Speedway and hopefully get them to come out and watch this car compete all summer and be a part of its, maintenance. So super exciting. The other thing we want to mention is as soon as this came out, Adam, Rich Schwarzenberg, who does a great job here in Ontario promoting the mini stock division, came to me and said, hey, we want to do more. What can I jump in? And I said, well, I think we've got this one handled pretty good. Why don't you guys start another builder? Let's try and inspire another car. Right away, within 2 days, Rich had another car on the go. Then the folks at Motorama, the huge car show here in Canada, came to us and said, hey, how would you guys like to build a mini stock at the Motorama car show over the weekend? So that is now being put together, and it looks like they're going to do a complete mini stock build at Motorama in March, which is super cool, along with 2 other builds that are happening right now. So just great to see everybody getting behind this project and getting the kids involved. Mallet, what are your thoughts?
That's impressive. We don't even have auto shop here anymore, and you're building 19 race cars. That's pretty cool, man. I got to tell you. I'm glad I'm not involved in any of them because I think the only thing I could do is put a tire on them, maybe.
Hey,
but
I just make phone calls.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Right. I know the feeling. My hands, see these hands? They don't get dirty. So I can talk about it, and I can watch them. Yeah, I can watch them go in circles, and I can talk about it. But when it comes to working on them, I'm the wrong guy.
That's awesome. So this is 2 weeks in a row, 2 shows in a row we've had Mike Mallet, and we've basically kept him hostage for quite a long time. Mike, do you want to stick around as we check in on the heat race action of our Rivalz Racing League?
Well, here's the thing. I got to stick around and watch anyway, so I can make fun of my guys if they do bad. So, and
So
give them, I had to give GT a little pep talk today. I heard he got docked for running into people this week. So I told him if he can't stop running into people, we're going to have to put somebody else in the car. It looks bad for DTD.
If you had any idea how much time I spent listening to GT complain about,
I have exactly no idea.
Wow. And I'm not even the official. Cody Olson, our race director, did the official handling of it. I just sort of, as a friend, I listened to what he had to say, and wow. I love GT, but he is passionate about the wrongdoings.
Well, hold on. He wasn't the only one either, because Adam had a horrible Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'm like, ooh, now you know what I go through every Monday morning after a shitty week at the races. And you think it's just a simulation. There's nothing simulated about the frustrations these guys purport to us each week. So
we had some of the biggest names in the sport throwing heat our way last week, but we did the right thing. And then
before we get too much further, I don't know where they are in the deal. If we have to go quad screen, we can do that, Spencer, with the racing. So this is Heat 2 getting set to roll up. You can see it there in the lower screen. Just to wrap up Eastern States, we still want to talk about the Batmobile rolling. Adam, you want to jump into that now, or you want to watch this heat, or what do you think? I'll leave it to you
let's
guys.
watch this heat. Yeah, if we got a pace lap for this heat going, it's a good one. Oh, Kevin Ridley, is he on the same track as Kevin Lovey's? Those two do not get along very well. So Ridley should be in the bright yellow car, and Lovey's should be in an NRAM Dynamics car. The big dog, Ryan Beagle, he's in this one. So they'll be on the white. You got to do it when you call the big dog. Mike, you've got to see Ryan Beagle. This guy is a superstar. He's a great big fella. He's got himself a pet dog, and a lot of people have simulator rigs to play this game. It's not a game; it's a simulation.
Whoa!
Exactly.
Oh,
But Ryan Beagle, the big dog, sits at his kitchen table on a kitchen chair with a steering wheel and pedals, and that's how he gets it done. Let's go full screen here, Spencer.
Field storms down the back straightaway. Look at him fan out 3 and 4 wide, and your leader is into the guardrail. Your leader in trouble here on lap number 1. It was Ian Blanchard who started from the knob, and he gets caught up in an incident in turn number 3. Back up front. Oh, now we've got a battle for third, and Sweeney's out of shape. Bobby Sweeney out of Oswego gets out of shape, and here comes Kevin Ridley. Ridley out of Waterloo in the 20X. Brings it off of turn number 4, trying to fight his way into tonight's A-Main. Ernie Williams Jr. shows the way. Kevin Lovey's running in position number 2. The battle is for third on back, as it is Larry Moody, Ryan Beagle, and Kevin Ridley. Moody takes it up to the top side, but Ridley says, I'll go one groove higher. Ridley right up against the concrete wall off of turn 2. Trying to close in on Moody, who's trying to close in on the big dog. So Big Dog up to position 3, and that would solidly put him in the show, but can Kevin Ridley catch Moody? And they go over the bumps in turn number 3. It looks like they're going through the whoop section of a motocross track, as this track has got some character tonight, we'll just say that. Oh, Ridley's up into the fence, and he's going to drop a couple of spots. That's going to move Kyle Stoltz up to position number 5. So Stoltz, as you remember, qualified in through the Gauntlet Series race tonight, and now he's putting a charge here on Moody. So Larry Moody in that black and yellow, numeraled number 73, as now they are closing in on Beagle. Checkered flag is out, though. Ernie Williams Jr. is going to pick up the win. Kevin Lovey's will come home 2. Ryan Beagle 3, Larry Moody.
So 2 Dirt Track Digest drivers in that one, Adam Buchanan and Bobby Sweeney. They're just outside of transfer spots. Mike, don't shake your head. If it was easy, anybody could do it.
I don't want to hear it. All right, only the best here at DTD. All right, if you're not getting it done, we'll have to make some changes. Have to have some chats.
One thing that's interesting about this simulation is they haven't fixed Charlotte. Like, even real dirt track at Charlotte, they got the surface sorted out, and it's been really good the last few years. But this track gets so rough on the straightaways. The cars are completely lurching this way and that way. They're hard to control until you get them into the corner, and then it's so slick it's still hard to control.
Adam, let's talk quickly about what we're watching there with the Rivalz Elite League. So this is elite pro drivers who have signed up and paid registrations to get involved unless they race their way through last night's events or tonight's Rivalz Strickland's Gauntlet event, which is an open race where you can race your way into this event to race with the best in the business. And week number 2 is what we're watching of this multi-week series. Is going to run almost right up through the spring till Oshweekend kicks off again at the end of April. But pretty amazing to see the turnout, Adam. And before we get into too much of the controversy of last week, we had some calls that were reversed, and we stirred up some trouble. But in the end, it was all in the effort of keeping the field playing fair. So I don't know if you want to jump into this heat too, or you want to talk about what went on last week a little bit.
You know what? I want to watch this heat because Connor, my son, is on the pole, and I got butterflies in my stomach. I'm a little nervous. So yeah, let's tell that story after.
Adam totally becomes a hockey dad when Connor races. It's exciting to watch. The pride. So Connor, don't let Big Papa down here. You got to hold one out because Mike can fire the DTD guys, but Connor can't go sleep at the neighbor's house. So you better pull it off, Connor.
Well, I'll tell you the chat we had after the Gauntlet. He was racing for 4th in his heat in the Gauntlet, fell back to 5th, and then we had a bit of a computer glitch and he crashed. So he had to go all the way from the back of the D. He got up through the D, up through the C, and then crashed on the first lap of the B. So the talk was, look, just always, you can't get everything all at once. Just take what you can get lap after lap and do your best. And he got a good start there. He's up to the outside, which is kind of where you need to be. Doesn't have to worry about winning this one. He just has to survive it, come home in the top 4, and that'll be a great job. But he's got his hands full out there.
My question is, why does it still say Adam Ross? If I'm Connor, I'm pissed that you're still stealing all his glory. He's becoming a good iRacer, and it's looking better on you than it is on him. Now, Jim Lampman just joined our broadcast. Do you think he has all the 28 cars? Let it up 28 with Jim Lampman on the side, so wherever one runs good, he can steal all the credit? That's a good idea for you, Jimmy. Let's go.
I will talk to our good friends from 3-9 Streaming.
Between him and the concrete wall, I think he may have even scrubbed it with the right rear, as that was a close call there with the 183. 183 tonight is Schultz, 193. As now you ride on board. Here down the front straightaway with Timmerman. Oh, they got problems in turn 1. They stack them up. Timmerman turns down to the bottom. And that move right there puts Timmerman in the show. If he can stay there, though, Schultz is going to try and turn back down on him here. As they are battling here with Connor Ross. You've also got the 40 there of Jeremy Zarfos out of Pennsylvania. Zarfos takes it down to the bottom lane. Trying to get a solid run off at turn number 4. He is chasing down Brandon Schultz. And what an impressive run for Schultz as he works the cushion off turn 2. The outside lane is where Schultz won the race last night with the Ohsweken Outlaws. Can he do it again here tonight? Long ways to go until the A main, but for right now, these guys just trying to get themselves in the show. Out front, Anthony Lepresto has led it from the drop of the green flag. Took the lead from Connor Ross right off the drop of the green. Checkered flag is in the air. Lepresto will get the win. Timmerman will come home to Brandon Schultz.
Look at you smiling like a proud daddy over there.
I was about to throw up. Here's the thing, Clinton, and you guys can attest to this. The three of us have been around racing long enough to understand. I don't care if it's a simulation. I don't care if you're in a mini stock class. I don't care if you're in a sprint car class. It is very hard when the best of the best show up and you've got great competition. It is very hard to do well. Try to explain that to a 15-year-old. That, the people that you're racing out here aren't really the same people as when you log in and just run a regular old iRacing event. Like, these are really good race car drivers. So it's all mental, and he's doing great. It just, I'm a proud dad. Screw you.
Nothing wrong with that. Adam, let's talk about what went on last week. We don't want to dig in it too deep, but what happened at the end of the race? There was some technical inspections and reviews that were reviewed.
Let's simplify it. After last Tuesday's race, 3 protests were filed. Okay? One was GT Smith, one was Shane Pierce, and one was a protest on Cole Caber, was one of the Swindell Speed Lab cars. We dealt with all 3 protests through lengthy conversations. So the 2 with GT Smith and Shane Pierce, it was fairly cut and dry because it was it was on-track incidents. With Cole Caber, we were sent a sound file, and his car sounded peculiar. The RPM wasn't right. There were throttle undulations that just didn't make sense. So we examined pretty much the whole top 10, one car at a time. Clinton, you, me, our race director, Cody Olson. We examined them close and discovered 4 cars sounded much different than the rest. And the 4 cars were the Swindell Speed Lab cars, all teammates. It got a lot of laughs. We sent the file to an audio video lab, a studio that works on audio productions, perfecting and tweaking and doing what they need to do. Said, hey, could you have a listen to this? We sent them 3 different tracks, and they said, yeah, they were hearing the same thing, a modulation that just didn't make sense. So we disqualified all 4 affected cars because we weren't comfortable with the sound they were making. There's my driver there, because every race car driver drives better in Santa Claus boxers. And then he gets mad at me later for talking about him on the show. Get out of the screen if you don't like it, Rossi.
All he's missing
So-
is Cheetos, and he is the essential iRacer.
He's got it all. So we weren't comfortable with the sound of those 4 cars. We disqualified them. In the Facebook conversation that ensued, there were a lot of thoughts. There were a lot of opinions that got thrown in, and a couple of them were really good and led us to someone who works at iRacing and said, really, you can't take these audio submissions as evidence to run a technical inspection. He says it really doesn't work because of the way the files are compressed back for these replays. So based on that information, we rescinded the disqualifications because we had said those racers would not be allowed to race with us moving forward. And that's when, this is the part that got disappointing, and I was really bummed out, Clint. I know you were too, for days. We had lengthy conversations with members of the team, of that team that was affected, and said, look, here's what we're doing. We're going to make this right. We never said, because it wasn't a matter, Clinton, that we were sorry. We conducted our inspection. We decided through really good advice from iRacing that maybe that inspection was not the way to go about it. So I'm not sorry that we did that inspection. So we didn't put an apology anywhere in our statement when we reinstated them. And they jumped on that and came out with a statement of their own. And that was that. Their main sponsor said he doesn't want them racing with the league anymore. But ultimately, we tried to do what was right, Clint. We tried to keep the integrity of our league together. And what are you going to do? So I took a little bit longer with that, probably went into more detail than you would have liked. But every step of the way, we were listening. We were taking advice. We were doing the things we thought we should be doing to make sure our members have a level playing field.
Well, the other thing is we also said they could appeal it, right? So if nothing was cut and dry, we would take the appeal. We continued from day one to continue to review the issue. So in the end, I think it showed that we're serious about tech. Was there an issue where something was appealed or overturned? Yeah, but I still think the fact that we're looking into it, not just saying the results are is going to build us clout in the end. Matt, what's your thoughts on what went on?
Hey, look, if you can only use the instruments that you have, and if you find an abnormality per se, and all 4 of the cars are the same, I would have thought the same thing, and I would have went through the process the same way. You got to do that. You got to dig into it, look at it, see what happened. And on the surface, when you scratch the surface, when 4 cars on the same team happen to have the same sound, and that's not necessarily what you're looking for, that to me is something that doesn't seem right. So I don't think I think everything you did there is right, and you kept digging and you went through it. And hey, sometimes things work, sometimes people butt hurt, but hey, get over it. All right, at the end of the day, all right, it's racing.
In total fairness, Clinton, if I'm Kevin Swindell, I probably react the same way. He didn't need to work with us. He waits till we say what we say. He throws his jab afterwards, and it's pretty much all said and done. Right? Like it is what it is. Is what it is, and it's over.
We're all right with it. The league continues to roll on tonight, with or without those guys, and we're gonna make this work. So, not overly, worried about the future of the deal going forward. Talking about things that are butthurt and tech, the Batmobile was back alive at Eastern States weekend. And for those younger fans, and, some of these guys, like, I think of Clinton Nichols as a kid that we talk about in our neck of the woods. And I got to sit down with him at one of those old-timer breakfasts in Hamilton. And he asked me, Mike, and this is your thing is funny. So Clinton's about a kid who's maybe 19 here. And his family's legendary here in the area. But he says to me, Who's CD Coville? Is he somebody? I said, oh boy, who's CD Coville? So I start showing him him and Bayrash going at it at the mile and all these great videos. And he's like, I was racing with that guy last night. And I'm like, there you go. So, from that perspective, it's super cool to see all these guys get it together. And there goes Ridley in the fence, which isn't cool. But that brings us back to another deal, Mike, where we talk about all these kids don't realize some of the really cool stuff that went on in our world. The Batmobile. If you were going to explain it to a 19-year-old or a new viewer who knows nothing about it, the stage is yours, Mike.
I'd say the Batmobile is the precursor to the modern modified. That I would be, when you look at our modern modifieds and the inner fins and all the aerodynamics and all that, it was the car that changed modified racing forever. I mean, that car came on the scene and kicked some serious behind, and then they actually banned it from Eastern states, which what made it cool that they ran it. And here, again, you can see the video of the car out there. They made some modifications to the car, but I think they did a good job on Twitter. They had Gary Ballou chat about that and the changes they made to it. And, here's Stuart Friesen in it. I think he could have went a little quicker, but it looked like he was a little tight. But this car definitely changed the way we look at modifieds and the way that modifieds were looked at back, after this thing dominated at Syracuse.
Remember also, this car was designed, built, and raced 40 years ago. We're not talking about 5 years ago. 40 years ago, this car came out, and it revolutionized what a dirt modified was. I mean, that's awesome to look at.
Yeah, I think it's amazing, and it's I think it's cool that they restored it and then they brought it back and they let it take some laps at Middletown. I thought that was pretty badass. And I mean, again, they made some adjustments. I don't know if you saw the Gary Ballou video or not, but they had him chatting, and he talked about they put an extra fin on the side, they put a nose piece on it for the aerodynamic, and he went through all these things. This is what we were going to do if we didn't get banned from Eastern State. We were going to run all these things, and it was really awesome and cool. The different things that the thought process that went into what they were doing at the time they were doing it was so far ahead of what everybody else was doing that it was no wonder that they went to Syracuse and destroyed everybody, because they were talking aerodynamics and airflow over the front of the nose and over the back. We got to balance this with this and that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a technical guy, so he's way over my head, but that's pretty damn impressive that they were thinking of that, back in the early 80s.
And when he came out and he was that fast during that Super Dirt Week, guys like Merv Treichler, I'm not sure who all else, redesigned their cars during that week to try to take some of the things that Gary Ballou had done on the Batmobile. So I guess it was just a wild show to see what the competitors tried to do to keep pace with Gary, but nobody could.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been there to see it, but I don't know what year. Do you remember the exact year? Because I always mess up the years on. Was it 1980?
I think it was 1980, and 84 was the first.
I would have been 4 years. How old were you? 4 months old. So I would have been 4 months old.
Okay. I was born in 75. 84 was the first Super Dirt Week I was at.
Okay. And if you go and you there it is, this one right here with the 17 beside it. It's in 17 pieces. 1980 Syracuse. It's Larry Newber and Bob, what's his name? Oh man, I can't think of it. But
Bob Jenkins?
Bob Jenkins. Yeah, Bob Jenkins and Larry
Yates.
Newber. No, it was Jenkins and Newber. And they covered the race. And if you watch the first, probably they even show the semis and the non-qualifiers race. It's an amazing piece of video. Google 1980 Syracuse for your full Batmobile service. And that Batmobile video was our Burger Barn video of the week. It's the world famous Burger Barn located in Six Nations, Ontario, your destination for relaxed dining and a comfortable family atmosphere. The menu features traditional favorites served with the Burger Barn twist. Bring the whole family and experience your down-home cooking for yourself. You'll never forget your first time at the Burger Barn, and we're sure you'll be back for more. All this at reasonable prices, making Burger Barn the perfect place for any occasion. Can't stop in, no worries. Call ahead for takeout. Don't forget, Burger Barn gift cards available in denomination from $2 to $200. And don't forget to stop at the brand new Petro Plus travel stop located right beside the Burger Barn for your latest fuel stop needs. Fuel up your belly, fuel up your car, all at the Burger Barn and Petro Plus travel stop. So we get ready to go. The C-Main is on the track, Adam. Viewers, this is your chance to throw.
Is it the C?
C-Main.
You could be
right there at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, all my guys are in it, so it's got to be the C.
It says Rivals Elite from Charlotte. C main.
GT already sent me a report and said his steering wheel settings were all screwed up in his qualifying heat. So he hopes he has them right now. And as I look through the rundown, where's he running in the 8th spot?
Fourth.
So he was.
He was.
Is he?
He's fourth.
All right, let's jump
This is
in
a
to Steve
GoPro.
Ovens' call of the C main here.
Way closer to the top 4, but right now, your top 4 all comfortable. GT Smith on the bubble, but he's got a good run going. Battle is on for second between Sweeney and Clevenger. Sweeney out of Oswego, New York, car number 81 in the DirtTrackDigest.com, DirtTrackDigest.tv sponsored ride. Being chased down by Jack Clevenger. Clevenger, who made his way into tonight's program through the Race to Rivals Renegades Division race last night, had a top 3 finish to qualify his way into the Elite Pro Series as you ride on board with GT Smith. GT Smith trying to get himself an insurance spot here as the white flag comes out. Final trip around the dirt track at Charlotte here for, oh boy, close call there between Smith and Clevenger. Wagaman's going to take the checkered flag. Sweeney will be 2. Finishing 3rd will be Jack Clevenger, and GT Smith will make their way into tonight's last chance.
Maybe a conversation with GT Smith about unnecessary risks on the final lap of the C main are in order.
I honestly don't think he's taking risk. I just think he can't drive.
Hey, Mike, but you got to be happy that Steve Ovens give you the DirtTrackDigest.com, Dirt Track Digest TV double
Hey, I like
read
it. I like
he's
the double.
coming out
I
down
like
the
double.
stretch.
That's good. That's good.
No
I wish it
double
was in the
dipping.
A main instead of the C main or the B main there, what we were in, but hey, we'll take it. We'll
So
take it.
is it time, Clint, that can we talk about NASCAR penalties yet? Did that make it onto the agenda?
No, it didn't, but yes, we can definitely talk about that. We've got time. So basically, we'll chat here through the B. We'll chat once the A takes over. We'll wrap up the broadcast. So we got about 5 or 10 minutes to go here.
Now, Mike, you're a writer, so you understand as well as anyone, words matter. On Sunday, there was an altercation on pit road. Denny Hamlin and was it Joey Logano? I don't even remember because I don't care. They were in a skirmish.
Was that Queen Ross from the throne in the back room?
The Queen has spoken. So a crew member came in and just ripped Denny Hamlin to the ground. And there was no immediate danger. So NASCAR finally stepped in and said, look, crew members can't be doing this. In fact, under NASCAR rule, the penalty alludes to NASCAR will not tolerate member-on-member violence in its organization. So the penalty was for and all I can think of as I'm listening to this on the radio is member on member. What were they, sword fighting? And I don't know if Spencer has the nerve to show the accompanying image that I sent to illustrate what I picture as member on member violence. But yeah, I don't see it popping up. Clinton's just got this canary cat that ate the canary look.
I don't think he saved it, but he says he's looking. He's furiously scrolling back through that chat like it's in here somewhere.
So it was such a serious
news
item.
I've had Adam send me photos. To be fair, I don't ever open them anymore.
That was a surgical procedure. That was results of a surgical procedure. And as hard as Spencer works, look at that gaggle of cars. He's got it. So as I'm listening to this very serious conversation by NASCAR, all I can picture is this: member on member violence will not be tolerated. So there we go, NASCAR. Rules are important and words matter.
I have a question for you, Adam. How much time did you spend trying to find a screenshot or still shot that actually illustrated member on member violence? And that was the best you could come up with? I bet if you went through your search history on your phone, we could find other spots that would show better shots of that.
I bet you if we went through, never mind. But it's a GIF. or a GIF, however you say it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But it's quite humorous. I enjoy it.
5 to go in the B main. Let's jump in that. Then we'll chat through practice and turn them off for the A. Let's jump in and watch the last few.
Into turn 1, and he's got a couple of Dirt Track Digest cars. He's got one in front of him, two behind him. Cote getting a challenge here from GT Smith. Smith down to the bottom. Cote to the high side. Smith's got the spot here on lap number 6. Halfway home. Just ahead of them, they've got Jim Smith in the 12, Adam Buchanan the 44. Now everybody seems to be fighting for the bottom. And look at GT Smith getting a run. He worked through the middle. Oh, he had to check up there for Smith, and here comes Cote. Cote around the outside. He'll take the final transfer spot. Bobby Sweeney out of Oswego's right there with him. Holy cow. 4 laps to go. Who's going to the A main? Buchanan, Smith, Cote, all under a blanket here. 6, 7, and 8. Bobby Sweeney and GT Smith, the time to go is now. They've got 3 laps to go. Oh, Cote, hold on to it. He got into the bumps again, and now here comes Bobby Sweeney. Sweeney down to the inside. Cote takes it back at the line. These guys are fighting with 2 laps to go. This is their final opportunity to get in tonight's 30-lap A main. Who's it going to be? Cote to the top shelf. GT Smith through the middle. Jim Smith down to the bottom. GT Smith going right through the middle. Cote to the top side. 3 wide for the final transfer spot. Down the back straightaway. Here comes GT Smith through the middle. Cote to the top. Smith down to the bottom. Checkered flag is in the air. Your top 8 cars will be Cody Hartlaub, Troy Wagaman, Jeremy Zarfos, Dan Sider, Adam Buchanan, Chad Cote, GT Smith, and Jim Smith. Your final transfer spot.
That was a good run. Credit where credit's due. GT Smith did a nice job.
I can't believe he didn't screw it up.
That was
He rolled
impressive.
the middle beautifully there. Give him a bit of credit.
So
poor
if you
Sweeney.
were
He bumped Sweeney out though.
Well, these things happen. I
Yeah, I
believe
know.
when you watch the replay of these races, I believe the resolution is much better, isn't it, Clinton? When they post the replay of the race the next day, and I just got a colorful message from GT. F yeah is the moral of what GT's message was. So wait. I wonder. I'm going to go on the record. GT Smith spent at least 90 minutes of my life last week complaining, saying because of the penalty I got, there was no way I'm going to qualify at Charlotte next week. GT Smith, up yours. You just saved me 90 minutes the next time you've got a complaint.
No, the A main's coming up. You may have more to deal with. So this is the practice session. They will get 5 minutes open practice, as you see that in the lower quarter. Want to welcome everybody from Strickland's, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac for all their support here with the Rivalz Elite and Rivalz Gauntlet Series. Rick Scott and his staff, great deal. Also want to send a shout out to the Ovens boys from 3-9 Streaming. Brad Ovens on the production, Steve Ovens on the call. Awesome job to have them with us. Super impressed to have them. And this is multicasting on many sources tonight. So thank you for watching wherever you're watching. We appreciate you being with us. As they run through the ads, which is perfect timing for what we've got going on. The simulation, Adam, has been great. To answer your question about the quality, we are seeing a dumbed down version in our monitor. So I believe the viewers at home are getting a lot better quality. I did see some backdoor messages between Spencer and Brad Ovens about upping the quality of the broadcast that's sent to us. So I think we have a bit of a pixelated version because Spencer's trying to mix all this for us in the production end of the monitors. But on the presentation side, there we go. Spencer says we're getting half the resolution in our monitors that the viewers are. So it's a lot clearer if you're watching elsewhere. Want to thank everybody for watching this week as well. Go ahead, Adam.
was gonna say, as we get into the routine of doing this, Clinton, I want people to start submitting links, whether it's in-car video, whether it's video from local races that you want us to talk about in coming weeks. I know we had a question earlier on tonight whether we discussed the Dan Archibald, Colton Everingham incident from Autumn Colors weekend up at Peterborough Speedway. We most certainly did. I think we spoke about that enough, but anything people have got, please submit them. We want to talk about it. We're doing our best to chase things down. Last week was an absolute cluster with the nonsense that went on following our Tuesday night league races. So this week,
you know what we should have brought up, and I didn't even think about it. You know, we were busy talking to Maddie, and obviously there's a little controversy going on there between Matt Williamson and Mike Mahaney. I don't know if you saw all of that went on this weekend or not.
No, what
did
went
hear
on?
some chirping going on, and someone was chirping Maddie on Twitter. What was the story there?
Basically what happened, they were racing pretty hard at Middletown for 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. And they got into each other and both ended up in the wall. Needless to say, Mike thinks it was Matt's fault. Matt's upset with Mike. You know, I know there was some bad blood there dating back to Outlaw Speedway where Mike was a lap car and Matty felt like he kind of held him up and raced him a little hard for being a lap car. My only argument on the one side of it for Mike was they don't use the blue and yellow flag at Fulton for the 200. So you don't know who's on your tail, who's on your bumper, who's battling with you. You don't know. You know, if you go a lap down, I mean, obviously you know if you look at the scoreboard, but you know it's awfully tough there. But so there was some contact, and I look up, and it wasn't a shock when I saw the two cars that were in the wall.
Well, you know what? That's the future of our sport. Mike Mahaney, Matt Williamson.
You know, and look, we need rivalries. You know, look, what would racing be today if you didn't have Danny and Brett Hearn, Danny Johnson and Brett Hearn going at it all those years, and that famous video of Brett throwing the mud, big mud ball at Danny Johnson from Fonda, right? That is like the most famous clip from This Week on Dirt. They show that every week for 20 years. I mean, that's the greatest clip ever. So, hey, you need a little bit of that, right?
Just want to follow up a couple things, Adam. So to what you said, if you submit a video of the week to us and we use it on the air, we'll give you 2 pit passes to Ush Weekend Speedway for 2020. So if you come up with any videos, send them over and we'll get you into the Big O. That's at least a $90 value. If you're not a member, it's $45. Well, more like $70, but still great value. 2-night passes to the races. Come on out and see us and we'll put it to you. Peter Majak also just says here, to follow up on the Colton Everingham deal, Colton did issue an apology to the officials and everyone, a very classy move, and he admitted that he took him out on purpose. So does that count? You could say, yeah, I'm sorry I was an ass, but I did it on purpose.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. You know what I just thought? Because Mike Mallard is such a dink, we need to go to Picard's and we need to get them to sponsor the Picard's Peanut Gallery, and that would actually be Mike's spot every week.
Oh,
I think that'd be perfect. Yeah. You love nuts.
Well, we're going to wrap up the broadcast now and turn it over to Steve Ovens' call of the 8th feature here from the Rivalz Elite Division. Mike Mallett, thanks again for joining us again. You know, you're our default, so whenever we can't get anybody else, we're going to pull you in. No, I'm only kidding.
That's fine. That's good. And hey, one more plug before we go. You mentioned Dirt Track Digest TV. Don't forget, we'll be live this weekend from the Short Track Super Series finale for the South Region down at the Georgetown Speedway. So Friday and Saturday night, 2-day packages are available. Just go on to dirttrackdigest.tv, and we'll have great coverage from there. Kenny Bruce is there, multiple photographers. And I myself, I'll be at the Short Track World Championships. Going to go down and cover the Sportsman and Pro Stock guys from our area. And then I'll be at the World Finals the following week. But I want to get that in before I let you go. Shameless plug.
Absolutely. We appreciate you spending the hour with us, Mike. It's always fun. And I think we're at the start of something that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, good times,
I think
guys.
what Mike just told me, we're going to need back for the next 2 weeks. So make sure you get back here and report on everything next week and the week after and the week after that. Stay safe, Mike. As always, don't break your typing fingers. They're going to be busy in the coming weeks. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. Adam, anything you want to say before we wrap things up and turn it over to Steven?
Not at all. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget, you can find us on the web, on Facebook. We're quite accessible. Come see us. Thanks for coming to you. Don't forget, support your local track any way you can. I know it's tough in the off season, but you're doing it here by hanging with us. Here we go. Steve Ovens with the call of the Rivalz Elite from Charlotte.
Time to sit down and hold on to your seats because these men, by the grace of God, iRacing and 800 horsepower, are ready to go to work. Week number 2 of the Elite Pro Series is green. Lap number 1 goes on the board, and it is Ernie Williams Jr. showing the way. Guys dicing it up, 2 and 3 wide, and we've got a big crash in turn number 3. Back there from about position 7 or 8 on back. Big crash in turn number 3. Yellow lights are on. Yellow flag coming out. I believe that's Chris Steele in the 80. Or excuse me, that's Ryan Beagle, the 84. Brad Ovens in the 3-9 streaming studios. Gonna try and dial up a look at that for us, as they were 3 wide on the back straightaway, and one car started to move up slightly. Yeah, right there, and oh boy, what a hard impact there on the outside of turn number 3. These drivers out here, they do not, the iRacing platform does allow for mirrors. However, this league does not permit the use of mirrors. As you see the contact right there, there was contact with Beagle, a car on the inside of Ryan Beagle. And when that car made the contact with Beagle, it just sent Beagle's dead right. And he was in the inside of a 3-wide battle there. And that got messy in a hurry. Let's see another angle of it as they work down the back straightaway. This is actually off the drop of the green. We'll see it next time as they come down the back straightaway. And here's another look for you. They were crossed up a little bit there, and it just looked like a chain reaction there. As you had Ryan Beagle got caught up in that one, Sean Timmerman and Billy Rowley. Tough break there for Billy Rowley, who qualified his way in through the Gauntlet Series race tonight. He has called it a night. Alan Downey has called it a night. Here we go. Green flag is back out. We are racing. So Ernie Williams Jr. will lead him off of turn number 2. Alex Bergeron in tow. And he's got his teammate Jason Nygaard right behind him. Bergeron and Nygaard through turns 3 and 4, running 2 and 3. And right now they're chasing down Ernie Williams. You might remember, as we've got good racing behind these guys as well. This is for position 6 on back. Kevin Lovey's Anthony Lepresto doing battle. There with David Flick. Brandon Schultz right there with him. He got up into the outside wall. Now the battle is on between Steinke and Kevin Lovey's. And then right there behind them, you've got the 56 of Flick, the 19 of Wagaman. Steinke got a little out of shape there as we've got a change for the lead. Alex Bergeron has taken over the top spot. Bergeron's taking the lead. Ernie Williams back to 2. Nygaard right now running in the 3 spot. Battles on for 4th on back. That's a good one between Lepresto, Kevin Lovey's, Josh Steinke. Steinke will hold on to the position. Back up front, good battle for the lead. Bergeron lost it to Williams there for just a moment, but Bergeron gets back on by. Here comes Nygaard now down to the bottom. Great battle for the lead here on lap number 13. Bergeron, Williams, and the 22 of Nygaard. 1, 2, and 3 as they work to turn number 3. Couple of cars making contact back in the pack. Kevin Lovey's up to position number 6 as he crosses the line here. Anthony Lepresto just ahead of him. Let's go back up front here. Ernie Williams starting to close the gap ever so slightly on Bergeron. And the yellow lights are on. Caution is out. Last time by, they were halfway home, 15 laps on the board. So your running order here at the yellow flag. Alex Bergeron, Ernie Williams Jr., Jason Nygaard, Josh Steinke, Anthony Lepresto, Kevin Loveys, David Flick, Brandon Schultz, right now your top 8 cars. Looks like Brad might have a look for us here on the Rivalz Elite Pro Series replay. Brad Ovens, our executive producer from the 3-9 Streaming Studios, doing a great job behind the scenes for us tonight. If you've got a race series that you'd like to have broadcasted here on the iRacing platform, check out his Facebook page, 3-9 Design Company, facebook.com, and search 3-9 Design Company. So yellow out here working lap number 17. They'll come across and put lap 18 on the board. So my apologies, quick clarification here. Yellow laps do not count here tonight. Yellow laps do not count. Currently on lap 12 of 30, as you see on your ticker. You can see it right. I had it wrong here. Back to green flag racing off turn number 2. Here comes Steinke down to the bottom. Gets by Nygaard with a nice slider in turn number 4. Josh Steinke up to position number 3. Ernie Williams trying to capitalize here on the restart. Battling with Alex Bergeron here for the top spot. Both of them right rear up on the cushion. And that's a great battle up front. Williams still right on board with him, trying to avoid the bumps into turn number 3. Yellow lights are on, caution is out, and we've got an incident here back in the pack. Looks like Troy Wagaman might have been involved in that one, car number 19. And Wagaman may have been a bystander there in that one, as he's retaken his spot in the lineup order. And here's the replay for you, as a couple of cars racing hard here on the front straightaway. And, oh, there it is right there. A couple of cars getting tangled up on the back chute, as they had some contact going into turn 1, and then another incident just ahead of that pack on the back straightaway. We are now officially halfway home, 15 laps on the board. $15 on the board, 15 to go. Josh Steinke started in position number 9. He's currently up to 3rd. Jason Nygaard running in the 4 spot. Kevin Lovey's running 5th. Your top 2, Alex Bergeron, Ernie Williams coming back to green this time by. Cody Olson, the race director for the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, letting these drivers know, nice and tight here on the restart. Back to the restart zone, and we're back to green. And look at Steinke trying to take advantage of Ernie Williams here on the restart. But Williams will get the nice run on the outside. Williams will hold on to the 2 spot. Nygaard right there for 3. Kevin Lovey's running in 5th, but he's putting some pressure on your 4th place car of Josh Steinke. And Williams has closed in on Bergeron. Bergeron leads him through turns 3 and 4. Jason Nygaard now taking it down through the middle, trying to find a line to run through there to battle for the 2nd and the 1st spot here as they work down the back straightaway. Through the bumps on the back, shooting into turn 3. Here comes Williams. Williams looking for the slider. He's got it. Bergeron turns back underneath him. Bergeron will lead at the line here with 11 to go. 19 laps on the board and 11 to go. Here for Alex Bergeron. They'll bring it down to the line here. Bergeron with the lead. Williams running in 2. And the checkered flag is out. Alex Bergeron picks up the win here in week number 2 of the Rivalz Elite Pro Series. Ernie Williams will finish 2nd. Jason Nygaard 3rd. Josh Steinke 4th. David Flick will round out the top 5. 6 through 10 tonight was Kevin Lovey's, Dakota Kuhn, Kevin Hanley, Cody Hartlob, and Chris Steele. Let's go through the entire field here for you. Jeremy Zarfos will come home 11th. Troy Wagaman 12th. Adam Buchanan 13th. Jim Smith 14th. Brandon Schultz will finish 15th tonight. 16th through 20 was Dan Sider, GT Smith, Chad Cote, Ryan Beagle, and Connor Ross. And your final 4 finishers tonight in the Rivalz Elite Pro Series was Anthony Lepresto, Larry Moody, Sean Timmerman, and Billy Rowley. Top 3 cars headed to victory lane. We will talk with them here momentarily. You're watching live coverage of the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, 29 streaming, and Turn 5 Media. Fans, stick with us. We'll be here with your top 3 in just a moment. Welcome back here, fans, to the dirt track at Charlotte, where we're getting ready to talk to 3rd place finishing Jason Nygaard here tonight. Jason, a great run for you. Ran top 5 most of this race tonight and came home with a solid 3rd place effort.
Qualifying, so I was behind the 8 ball, but I busted my butt to win my heat. Good position for start the future.
Tell us what happened in your qualifying lap, because you were the fastest car in practice, and then I saw that you weren't able to register a qualifying lap. What happened?
I got loose coming out of 4, and I aborted the lap and reset, and I forgot that when you at Charlotte it'll start your 2nd lap, so I just didn't get to really get a good shot at qualifying.
Gotcha. Well, tell us about your race here tonight. You started 4th, finished 3rd. I saw that you were toying with that middle lane. What more did you need tonight to try and get by the top 2?
Honestly, I was on the same setup as my teammate, and I was just waiting for Alex or Ernie to make a mistake to try to throw a slider on them. And they just ran a flawless race and didn't really get that chance.
Jason, tell us about some of the folks that helped make it happen for you here aboard car number 22 with a solid effort for third tonight.
I gotta thank my team, ABR, Alex and me. We put a lot of work in. Since last week to get ready for tonight. Pit Logic and CSI Shocks, Wicked Cushion, Dirt Armada, and Next Gen Fab.
Well, you came in tonight fourth in the point standings, and you're going to do yourself a lot of good here tonight, finishing third. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, there's Jason Nygaard finishing in position number 3 here tonight. Now we'll get a chance to talk to our second place finisher tonight, Ernie Williams Jr., who put on a great battle with Alex Bergeron there in the closing laps. Ernie, you had yourself a heck of a week last week, and you really bounced back with a solid week again here in race number 2. Tell us about it.
Yeah, last week I got buried and had to run through the alphabet soup, stuck me back in A main. I think I still come and run to 6th on that. Wasn't a bad night. It's been nice to start up front with them guys. Tonight, I mean, I got out in my heat. I won it, so it put me on the outside of row 2, man. And I knew Bergeron would be tough to beat, and Nygaard starting up there too. So I knew it was going to be a battle. And once he got around me there towards the end or midway through, it was going to be hard to get around him because the track was pretty much one lane. And he bobbled a little bit going into one time. And to be honest, it kind of caught me off guard, and I wasn't expecting it. And it kind of made me react a little bit, probably more on the pedal than what I needed to be. And I might have had a chance to get around him. But like I said, I just reacted too late. And I got on the gas too much, and I didn't get around him then. And that he ain't going to bobble too many times. So I was going to just wait until the last lap and try to get on a different line, you know what I mean? And I went out of 4. I about got passed by 2 or 3 guys getting off the cushion. But all in all, good night. Second place, we'll take it.
It takes a lot of patience to know that, that's the kind of track that you were dealing with tonight. And, it takes a lot of patience because you want to get up there. You can see the leader's right there in front of you. But sometimes, and I think this is a great lesson for beginners to iRacing that might be watching tonight, sometimes you just have to take what the track and the car gives you.
Exactly. So you're not going to win them all, that's for sure, even if you start on the front row, you know what I mean? It's just you got to be smart out there. You're not going to be able to win it. You got to be there at lap 30. You got to be there at the end of the race. If you're not there, you absolutely have no chance. And the best thing, especially if the guy in front of you is not, if you trust him like Bergeron, I followed him around there. I had a plan in my head what I was going to do. I probably should have tried something a little sooner, so I wouldn't have been so off guard, because I really thought I'd get a bike coming out of 4, but I never did. But yeah, it's patience, man. You especially running the cushion, you can't get up there. There's times when you run up on him and you're like, do I try to pass him? But it's the best thing to do is just to tuck right back in behind him and follow the leader a little bit until you can figure out something. And like I said, he's got a bobble to do something, man. It's a 1-lane track right now, and he's tough anyways. Even if it was 3 or 4 grooves, he'd be a tough guy to get around. I got to congratulate him. He comes out here and he puts us on a regular basis. You can't really fault the fella.
Ernie, tell us. I know that last week you fought your way in through the Gauntlet Series, and tell us a little bit about where you're from and some of the sponsors that help you out.
From Lima, Ohio. We've been doing this sim racing. Tim Nichols is a real good friend of mine, and he has simulators, actual sprint car simulators, that he takes around to all the tracks. If you guys have been to like Knoxville or anything like that, I'm sure you've seen him. He's a big help in this iRacing deal. He does a lot for the community. And like I said, he goes around and he just takes them around to meet friends, man. He's got a lot of friends. He's a good guy. He's from Lima too. And he's putting on a little race party November 22nd and 23rd up to Howard Johnson in Lima. They're a sponsor of ours. And they help us out on, if guys want to come up and stay, they got discounts on the rooms, all that. He's got sponsors, Kier Speed Shop from Ohio sponsoring, Wicked Cushion sponsoring, all kinds of people sponsoring some races. There's going to be cash, not no big money. It's just going to be a fun deal. We're going to do $20, $30 to a winner, make sure everybody get a couple bucks, but it's just a fun little deal that we put on. We want to try to do it annually. So if anybody's from around the Ohio area, man, shoot me a message or something. We'll get you in there, and it's sure to be fun. Like I said, they're actual simulators, and it's there's nothing like sitting in them things. They're fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you, sir, made it fun for us tonight, putting on a great show. Solid second place finish. Great job tonight, Ernie.
Yep. Thank you guys, 39 Streaming and Turn 5 Media, for doing the broadcast. Oswego Speedway, them guys that's putting on this deal, man. And I appreciate all the effort they put in. Cody Olson for being the race director. It's tough sometimes. And congratulate Alex and Nygaard on their top 3. And shout out to BDM Motorsports too. And hopefully we'll see you boys next week.
All right, there's Ernie Williams finishing in position number 2 here tonight. And now we're going to get a chance to talk to tonight's winner, Alex Bergeron, who put a clinic on here tonight, started from the pole. And Alex, I know that Ernie was right there with you all night tonight, but you just had such a fast car that you were able to kind of keep him at bay all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we like Jason mentioned in his interview, we put a lot of work this week, and it paid off for sure compared to last week. The car was very good tonight. Where it was good all the way around the racetrack. You know, Ernie was still fast. You know, he just ran every laps as good as he could, and he was right there behind me. So there he throw on the slider there on I think the second to last lap. So I just had to undercut that and make sure I had to lead the last lap, and that's what happened.
Tell us how tricky, the backstretch going into turn 3 was, because we saw that got choppy early in the night, which I didn't really expect. Sometimes you expect that later in the night, but it got real choppy early tonight.
Yeah, of course, the first couple, heat races and stuff, the first half of the night, I said the first 3/4 of the night was afternoon condition, and it went to night for a warm up in the feature. So that's exactly what made the difference between the bumps and stuff. Track was a lot slicker in the middle of the night. And if it would have started at night, it wouldn't have been that rough on the back straightaway and the front stretch and the cushions. So it was unexpected there. I didn't expect to go at night, but we just overcame that and still won the race.
Absolutely, man. Great way to start out here, week number 2. You had a solid effort last week and back it up here tonight. I know that you talked about some of the folks, and Jason talked about some of the folks on board with your team, but go ahead and give them a shout out, man. It takes every little bit to help this deal.
Oh, absolutely. Jason and I put a lot of work into this, and he's done an absolutely awesome job the last 2 weeks. He's awesome on the racetrack. He's fast and he's improving every night. So he's doing an absolutely awesome job. So I thank him for all the work he's putting in with me. I gotta thank my girlfriend as well for helping this team and supporting me. All this Team ABR crew. All the fans out there for watching, you guys for broadcasting, all my partners, especially Pit Logic and CSI Chalks, for all their support towards ABR and Jason here for this series. So I thank them. PK Designs for all the iRacing paints, Smart Inc., everybody else who supports Team ABR, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, there's Alex Bergeron, winner tonight here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We want to thank him for his time here to talk to us here at the end of this one. And that is going to do it for our coverage here tonight from the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Week number 2 of the the Rivalz Elite Pro Series division here, broadcasted each and every Tuesday night. You can check us out just after 9 o'clock in the East as we bring you each and every week of the 20-week Rivalz Elite Pro Series division. If you want to get a chance to race in the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, you have the opportunity to do so every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. during the Gauntlet Series race, which is brought to you by Strickland's GM out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada. So if you want a chance to race your way into the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, you can either do that through the Gauntlet Series Tuesday nights at 7, or you can take a crack at the Oswego Outlaws Renegades division, which kicks off at 9:15 in the East on Monday nights right here on the iRacing platform. So On behalf of Clinton Jeffrey, Adam Ross from the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, our executive producer, Brad Ovens in the 3-9 Streaming Studios in Penn Yan, for our race director, Cody Olson, my name is Steve Ovens saying thank you for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday night for week number 3 of the Rivalz Elite Pro Series. Good night, everybody.